few things which are worth saying. The code has demonstrated its utility and its power over a long period of time, to this extent that several statutory regulatory bodies have, over a period of time embraced components of our code or embraced our code in its entirety. So there are, government bodies and regulators that have, in a sense, taken the entire code and embraced it. But there's a more important thing as well, which is to do with the rigor of the process. The legal system allows for quasi-legal bodies to exist, and the Indian judicial system does actually acknowledge that some of these things function as tribunals, and the decisions of those tribunals sometimes might get appealed in the court of law, and the court of law will either take that tribunal seriously or treat it as a bit of a joke. Now, the good news about ASCI is that decisions that are taken by the CCC that are recorded in our minutes have in fact landed up in courts of law because they have been contested, because an advertiser has felt that they have been unfairly targeted or something like that. They have reached the courts, and courts have actually treated our ASCI CCC decisions as pari passu or equivalent with decisions of a judicial tribunal. So while we are quasi-judicial, we are quasi-legal, the actual legality gets tested when they go into appeal in a court of law. And they have landed up not just in high courts, but even in the Supreme Court. And time after time, decisions that have been taken by CCC have in fact been endorsed and seconded at the highest court in the land. So it's no longer just the informal process of this informal tribunal, but some of them in a sense have got codified into the judicial or jurisprudential record of consumer related legal activity in this country. So it has elevated itself from just being this little tribunal that was dealing with a little bunch of issues to something that now is understood, recognized, and even applauded. In fact, courts have sometimes told litigants that you don't need to bring this to us. This belongs in the domain of the Advertising Standards Council. So, in a sense, this is reassuring because the quality of the judgment and the quality of the reasoning is what is tested when it goes into the courts of law. And obviously, the quality of reasoning that has been employed by the Consumer Complaints Council sitting in judgment over a piece of advertising has managed to pass the test of legal or jurisprudential standards.